Okay, in this section we're going to take a look at proportions, which I didn't realize was coming because I talked about it in the last video about solving equations. So it's going to be a trick I just discussed. Let's take a look. So if you've got an equation set up like this where I've got something over something equals something over something, the trick was the lasso trick. Now, the book's showing different, the book is showing multiply both sides by the GCF or the LCD, which is fine. It's the same thing. But I think it's much easier to just do what I showed you before, which is just we're going to lasso these. This is what you learned in like middle school or whatever. So I've got 7x. I'm just multiplying what's inside my lassos, and 63 times 4, which I don't know what that is. Okay, so I have that all set. All I had to do was do my lassos. I'm going to divide both sides by 7. Oh, I don't want to figure that out. They've done it for me. It's going to get 36. All right, same thing. We're going to lasso here. Man, am I going to need a calculator? Because I don't have one. Okay, so lasso this, I'm going to get 12n equals 84 times 11. All right, if you've got a, oh, here's a calculator. I do have one. Okay, so I've got 12n equals 924. Divide both sides by 12, and I get 77. Okay, same thing. We're going to lasso here. I'm not going to show my lasso, but you see I'll get 12y equals 13 times 96. I do not know those numbers in my head. I'm just using my calculator. Okay. All right, we're going to get some, what are we doing here? Nothing really different, except we just changed the location. So I'm going to do my lasso. I'm not going to show it here, but you see this time we're lassoing, we're going to get 9a, and we're going to get 4 times. Now divide both sides by 9. All right, it's a whole lot of the same thing. I've broken this section, this section of the chapter into 3 parts, so hopefully there's something more challenging coming, because this is going to be the same thing over and over. You catching on to the idea here? So we're multiplying diagonally. We're doing our lasso. Doing our lasso there. Okay, at least here we've got something slightly different here. Now, we've got a more complicated expression, but it's going to be the same idea. I'm going to lasso here, and I'm going to lasso here. So multiply your lassos. That's 7n equals 5 times n plus 14. So this is a number on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply those. All that's changed is I've got a little more math I got to distribute here. Okay, now I'm going to send those n's over. I get 2n equals 70, n is 35. Okay, same idea. Try it on your own if you want. Go to lasso. Get all my y's together. Divide both sides by 5. What would that be? 33, I believe. I think so. Okay, now the only difference is they've thrown in a negative here. It's not going to change anything. You could give that negative to, let me do it over here. if you have negative 1/5, it's the same as if you had like negative 1/5, or it's the same as if you chose to give it to the bottom. Doesn't matter. They're all exactly the same. You can see this idea when you do slope. You could go down and up, but as long as you get the minus in just one of them, it's the same thing. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to give it to the bottom because I see a reason why. So I'm going to give it to the bottom. It's going to make the math easier instead of having to distribute a negative through. So now I'm going to do my lassos. I'm going to get negative 5z. I'm multiplying these guys here. That's just going to z minus 84. Doesn't do anything. Okay, I'm going to send this z over to the other side and join the other guys. It's going to become a negative when he does that. Okay, now just divide both sides by negative 6. And I believe I get 14. Alright, the math gets more complex, but the idea does not. We're lassoing here, and we're lassoing there. So I've got 6 times p plus 12 equals 9 times p minus 12. I should have known that one. I had to use my calculator. Alright, now let's start putting things together. I'm going to move these over to here. I'm going to send the 108 to the other side. Sorry, just trying to check to see what we got left. Okay, a couple more of the same thing. Try it if you'd like. Numbers are just getting worse, but we're going to go this way and this way. Okay, this is supposed to be a 66. Now, I'm definitely too lazy to do that, so let's use a calculator. Okay, putting this together, I'm going to send the v's over here. I'm going to have 4v. Going to subtract 360 from both sides. Okay, one more. This is pretty easy, so I'll just show another one here. You probably don't need it, but I should know 15 times 15. That's what I thought. Oops. I gotta send the 9 through. Okay, now I'm going to get my x's together. So I'm just subtracting 27 from both sides. Alright, is this going to divide evenly? How about that? It does. And x is 6. Alright, that's the beginning of this. I don't really know what else is coming in this section. But if you have a proportion set up where you've just got something over something equals something else over the other, I think the easiest and fastest way is you just do the lasso and solve.